Hey, welcome back everyone. This is my breakdown of my beat which placed 5th in the Kenny Beats finals. I'll play the whole track and then we'll get into the breakdown. So here, most of what I'm doing is using the transient markers in Ableton's clip view just to make sure that the sample is on beat. So I just turn the metronome on and make sure it was all snapped to the grid. So most of the synths in this beat I made in Serum, and this is the first one I started off with. The wave shape is simple soft. It's got 6 voices, a little bit of detune, a tiny bit of noise, but the thing that gives it all of its character is this envelope. This second envelope is routed to the filter, and I have the resonance pushed up a little bit so that there's like a little peak here, and every time the filter opens and closes, you hear all of those frequencies that are being changed. And then I have the mod wheel routed to the cutoff and the resonance, and I'm opening that up as this goes on. And then the last bit of automation that I did is with the reverb. I brought the decay time up a bit just to give it a little more wetness as it got closer to the actual beat. And then in this last bar here, I wanted it to like really swell and then completely cut out before those 2 hits. So I have the dry wet going all the way to 100 here. So the next synth I added is this lead, another one that I made in Serum. Another pretty simple patch. Once again, it's just the envelope and the filter that are giving it its character, and then I'm automating the drive from Nani as this goes on. So next synth patch I added is another one from Serum, and it's these chords. And I made sure to put a bunch of reverb on this. I've already got some effects in Serum, giving it its vibe. And once again, like really the main concept with all of these synths is just using this envelope to give it a characteristic sound. So after that, I just brought up an electric piano from Keyscape. And then I played those same chords on this saw synth without any reverb on it. Then I had to get a bass in here, and this is a patch I took from Silent. It's just like a Moog bass patch, but I kind of tweaked it. I'm doing some saturation with little radiator, some EQing, and then a sidechain compressor routed to the kick. So I've got that same synth from the beginning. The filter's completely open now, and I've got Sketch Cassette just like giving it some vibe. Then I've got this other patch that I made, which is just like a simple chord patch. This is one of my favorite wavetables in Serum, and I'm doing kind of like a sweeping thing with the pitch here. I have this envelope routed to the pitch semitones, and I'm having the pitch sweep up. So the next thing I added were some keys for embellishments. I'll play that for you now. All right, next up is the drums. The first thing I started off with is this berry white chop, which I chopped up a couple days ago. It sounds like this. And I made sure to cut the snare out, and I put a bandpass filter on it. And then in the spots where the snare would have been, I put this really short snare. And then a live hi-hat that I recorded. And that's pretty much the groove for the intro. Once we get into the actual beat, I added this kick and then 2 snare sounds. Then I added a bunch of other percussion, this shaker, this woodblock thing, that Barry White sample again. Then this cowbell sound. And I'm doing some pitch automation with this cowbell. This is something that I heard in a Tennyson song. I'm pretty sure it's from Like What. So I'm automating the pitch up when the cowbell hits. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I really, really like it. Next, I added that sweeping hi-hat trick I did in the semis. Another open hi-hat, which is a lot more electronic sounding. And then a more real sounding hi-hat from the count. And then the second time it repeats, I added this shaker loop. This sample from Bacao Rhythm and Steel Band, they have a lot of really great breakbeat samples. I've never actually used their stuff in a real song because I don't want to get sued. But if I'm just making beats for fun, I'll just throw in their break beats because they usually fit super well. They sound like this with the whole beat. And then another hi-hat sample. And then some crashes to emphasize the like big hits. So once I had the whole track like fleshed out, I just started adding some embellishments. First of which is these nature sounds. And I actually recorded these like probably like 4 or 5 years ago. It was like when I had first gotten into recording, and I remember I took my tiny little interface and my laptop and this mic to a forest preserve, and I just sat there for like an hour and recorded like the birds, and I got a lot of great Foley from it, and I've used it in a lot of my beats. Then I added this piano lick, and I also layered it with some guitar that I recorded in the intro. Then I've got some other little piano embellishments with the soft piano from Labs. I recorded this little ad-lib myself. I put little altar boy on it and just shifted the pitch and form it down. After this, the outline of the track was pretty much finished, and the last thing I had to do, I felt like I needed to use the sample a little more, so I threw the sample into Simpler, and I put it on slice mode. This is something that Tennyson does a lot. He does it with percussion sounds, just to like separate each transient of the percussion sound, and I thought that it would work with this since I wanted to like capture specific parts of the sample, and then I played it on my MIDI keyboard, and it sounds like this. I didn't have a whole lot of time left when I did this, so I kind of just had to leave it as is. The next thing I did is I layered that same lead from the beginning with chop from the sample. This is also in simpler. I took a really small part of the sample, I put it on loop mode and complex, cut out all of the lows, and added reverb with the dry wet on 100, just because there were a lot of clicks and I wanted to get rid of that. And that's pretty much the whole beat. So before I go, I just want to say some pretty big things that happened recently. First of all, the first video that I posted on this channel hit 100K views, which is absolutely insane. I want to thank all of you who have watched my videos, who have subscribed, who have liked, commented. I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I do read all of your comments. If I haven't responded to them yet, I'm sorry. I'm working on that. It's tough to respond to all of them, but I promise I do read every single comment. I'm working on a Q&A video right now to get back to some of the people that ask questions about theory and stuff. I know a lot of you had questions about theory. Some people had questions about drums. So I want to do specific videos on those topics. I also got a couple of questions about mixing, which is something that I used to be really bad at, and I still don't really know a ton about mixing, but I've definitely gotten a lot better over the years, studying some of my favorite producers and overall just kind of, doing it a bunch. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you all. And then finally, thank you, Kenny, once again for doing these beat battles. I know it was the final beat battle, but it's honestly really admirable that you did these for 3 years. You gave so many producers a space. You gave them a platform that they wouldn't have had initially, which is insane. If you're not in the Kenny Beats Discord, go join the Kenny Beats Discord right now. It's already massive. It's free to join. It's like the best place to be for new producers. If you're a new producer and you just started, you got to join the Discord. There's so many free sounds in there. There's so many nice people that are willing to give you great feedback and are all really supportive. He's built a really beautiful community. So I would really recommend going and joining that Discord. Yeah, I think that's about it. All right, until next time. Peace.